Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Blame the computer. I'm just going to do that. Carolyn is my witness. She knows.
That's it.
All right, it is time to talk about our lawns and our gardens. It kind of feels like a summer day today. We had a kind of a hint or a tease that we had some cool weather coming in. Carolyn is here to tell you what to do about all of that if you are interested in making your lawn or yard more beautiful. And to call the show, the number is 622-9622. Good morning, Carolyn.
Good morning, Larry. How are you doing this morning?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. It's fall has come in. I mean, we turned the calendar and the temperature's changed. That's all it took.
Yeah, we came right back.
Maybe we needed to keep flipping that thing back and forth, and it would have worked. No, it's not. It's not really back. I mean, it's not as warm as what it was 2 weeks ago.
That's true.
And
That's
hitting
true.
those highs, it hits them, but it's not staying there all day. Like before, we would hit our, we'd be up in the upper 80s by 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, staying until the mid 80s till 7, 8 o'clock in the evening. And now it's, we're hitting the lower 80s. And, that's not too far, I don't believe too far off of what the norm is. Or what the average is supposed to be.
But I mean, we live in a really beautiful place.
We do.
Can't
so it's
really
like,
complain.
I mean, this is one of those kind of things when I have a lot of coworkers and customers and things like that are from up north, and they have families up there, and they're getting the phone calls where, it snowed on Halloween. Or, this and that, and they've already had 2 inches of snow this year. Friends on Facebook, pictures of Colorado. It snowed 3 times already.
Did you hear the snow bikini story?
No, I haven't heard the snow bikini story. No.
I guess it's a new thing.
It's a new thing? Okay.
Yeah, you show off your bikini and standing in the snow.
And standing in the snow. I've seen crazy people do that before, too. I've also seen the ones on Facebook where they run out on the dock in their little swimsuits and they jump on the lake and it's frozen solid. And it's like, ouch.
Yeah.
Not only is it cold, but that hurt. But no, I mean, so we're we do have the best, this time of year, everybody's coming down going, I'll take this any day over, the 20 degrees it is right now.
I know.
So.
And, the snow bikini pictures I was looking at, Rob and I were both looking at them. It just looks like college kids just having fun.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Just having fun.
It.
All right, ready for the phone?
Yep.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Morning, Hugh.
Talking about the wonderful weather up north for Halloween, Milwaukee had 6 inches. Now they got snow alert for tonight for another 3 to 5.
Wow.
And this is ridiculous because usually your first snows are towards Thanksgiving if you get anything. And boy, it's a long, long winter when you got snow in October. I tell you, there's going to be a lot of people coming to Florida this winter.
Yeah, and it's funny because how warm we have stayed all the way through October. And I thought that, up north, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, that I remember the summer up north was actually quite warm up there. So maybe that's been the trade-off. They had a really warm summer, and now they've got an early winter.
I watch the Weather Channel just about every day, and to keep an eye on what's going on up there, because I've got family and interests up there, and I'm concerned about weather up there, just as I am down here. But the weather this morning, the Weather channel said that there's going to be a very strong cold front after this snow tonight and tomorrow. But they said watch out for middle of next week. There's going to be a super Arctic blast, record-setting cold throughout the whole country, eastern part of the country. So we'll see how. Usually they're pretty accurate on this, but for some reason they know ahead of time that about this time next week we're really going to get a blast. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and actually even looking at, because I did bring up the 10-day forecast for our area, and next week, so the 12th, it's they're saying our high will be 66 degrees.
Wow.
So that's
cool.
going to be with a low about 45. So that's going to be a bit chilly. Nothing that's going to hurt anything, but it's going to make some of us go, this hurts. I don't like it. Yeah.
Right.
So.
Last week I brought up the subject of when I went shopping that I'd never seen before was these small pumpkins, and through talking to you and that, you said that was a pie pumpkin,
Yeah.
And I was going to go buy some, but my wife said when she was growing up, her mother was a wonderful cook and baker, and they made pumpkin pie from scratch, and I guess there's a lot of work involved. And the wife said, I don't think you want to fool around with pumpkins because it's not as easy as it looks.
No,
and
it's not.
I suggest if you buy a pumpkin in a can or bring home a pumpkin pie, just forget about making one.
Yeah, it is a lot, because to make the pumpkin puree, it does take quite a bit of work. And when you can just go and pick up a can at Publix and open up the top and start the whole process, right there, you've just probably dropped, probably more than an hour out of the preparation time on that pie.
Yeah. Now, speaking of pumpkins, the other day when I was at the store, there's another something. I've seen white pumpkins. Now, what is the deal with white pumpkins?
It's a breed of them. When they had the little, when you used to be able to find small ones, and I'm making about the size of a softball kind of thing, and I think they called them baby boo pumpkins. And again, it's something probably a little easier to paint on. They're probably a little more of a gourd because some of them are flat. When you find some of those white pumpkins and some of the other gourds and things like that are sold for the holidays to make the holiday decorations. But the white ones, it's just a breed where they probably found they kept going with the palest and palest pumpkin out of a patch, and kept collecting that seed until they got one down to a white.
Yeah, I stopped and I talked to one of the workers there in that department, and I said, "What's the deal with these white pumpkins?" And he said, you just pick one up, and then you go over to our paint department and buy a can of orange paint, and you're right where you want to be."
Or you get all different color paints, and instead of painting it orange, you paint your face on it, and it's for the Halloween one, it can be your ghost pumpkin. You got your other pumpkin. And
good for pie too.
Again, because they're bred, I really don't know. I'm not even sure whether or not the flesh is tasty or not. With mass production for the jack-o'-lantern industry, I'm sure the emphasis is not on taste quality of the meat in it, but the quality of the pumpkin for size and a carvability kind of thing.
Yeah. I other than seeing in the store the other day, the white pumpkin, I've never seen a white pumpkin as a decoration anywhere. I never knew they even existed.
Oh, yeah, they've been around for several years now. I think they just, I know our store got quite a few of them this year, which was a little bit different. And they sold just as well as the other ones did, too. And it was kind of funny because somebody did a decoration for our foyer display, foyer display at work, and they took 3 orange pumpkins and painted them white.
Oh, really?
And, okay, well, why didn't we have 3 nice, but they weren't the same shape. The white ones seemed to be a little more round, a little more, and what they did was they painted Ulf from Frozen.
Okay.
Yeah, in our display, so. But,
I love pumpkin seeds. Would those white ones be pretty good with pumpkin seeds?
I would think so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the things I always did when I had the kids at home before they went away. We'd always have 3 or 4 pumpkins carved up. Of course, with that many pumpkins, you get a couple of handfuls of seeds, and then we put them in the oven and everything else. And they were wonderful. But like I said, never seen a white pumpkin until the story the other day.
Oh wow! Yeah, well, now you've seen them. Next thing you know, we'll have some other weird colors coming out, or they'll already be painted, or things like that. Who knows?
Well, yeah. Well, thanks to you. Now I think I'll become an expert on pumpkins, on the little ones for pie and the white ones. So next year I'll know all about pumpkins.
There you go. You'll know which.
Okay, thank you very much. Take care.
All right, you too. You.
And you have another phone call.
Right.
Good morning. You're on the air with Carol Ann.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Hey, Carol Ann. I was wanting to know if there was something I could put on my orange trees to make them sweeter.
No, they're usually. I mean, this time of year they're beginning to get ripe. A lot of people say we need a couple of nice little frosts to sweeten them up, but really, it's the sweetness is from the ripening. A healthy tree, properly watered, properly fertilized during the growing season is going to give you a good, sweet, juicy orange.
Okay.
Are yours,
thank you very much.
Are yours just not sweet right yet? Oops.
Say that again, please.
I said, are yours just not sweet yet?
No, last year they weren't sweet at all.
Oh, is the tree an older tree?
Say that again.
Is the tree an older tree? Has it been in the ground a while?
Yes, ma'am. They're all older.
That might be part of the problem. Citrus trees don't last the way they used to. It might be just the tree is about finished.
Okay, I think they're about 15 years old.
Yeah. Citrus trees only go anymore. If you get a good 15 years out of a citrus tree with it having with it still producing and things like that, you're really very lucky.
Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the phone calls. If you'd like to call in, you are certainly welcome. You are, in fact, invited. The number is 622-9622, and we all learn from those questions. And
oh, yeah.
so I have one not observation, but one thing I want to share with you from a video I watched of people decorating a pumpkin.
Okay.
They took crayons and laid them on top.
Okay.
And then took the paper off the crayons.
Okay.
And then used a hairdryer to warm them up.
Right.
And then the crayons dripped down.
To melt it over them. That's kind of a neat, something
kind
different.
of a neat little thing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something different. But, going back to, saying that the weather isn't right. For today, November the 5th, average temperature high is 81.
Okay, so this is not so unusual.
The average low is like 56, which we're a little bit warmer on that. Records were 91 and 36. 91 back in 1938 and 36 for a low in 1910. So
come on, so it's not that
not that far off.
Good morning, you're on the air with Carol Ann.
Good morning, Larry, Carol Ann.
Hey, Sonny.
I have a question about when would be a good time to start trimming or cutting back on the crepe myrtles and some evergreens.
Crepe myrtles, you're going to wait until the middle of February because they haven't even dropped leaves yet. And any of your other evergreens, personally, I'd be waiting until we've had some good cold weather, which I'm saying probably about not till January, at least.
What was that again about the crepe myrtles?
Middle of February.
All right.
Yeah, crepe myrtles haven't even dropped their leaves. If you cut them back now, while we have warm weather, you know how our weather goes cool and warm and cool and warm, they'll start to try to leaf back out, and you'll lose that when we get a hard cold, when we get a hard freeze. So we don't prune those until...
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah, we never do our crepe myrtles until about the middle of February. And, excuse me, same thing with like your roses. Roses, actually, if you pruned them back in, say, end of August, first part of September, they should be looking really good right now. Especially with a little bit cooler weather, they should be just fantastic, especially something like the knockouts. And then we go ahead and when you think of roses, you think of Valentine's Day, or you think of Valentine's Day, you think of roses. So no matter what kind of roses you have, about that Valentine's Day is a good time to, if you've got them mulched, clean that mulch out, cut out any dead canes, shorten them up. Nice couple shovelfuls of cow manure. They love roses. Love cow manure. Nice drink of water. If you use a systemic as the insecticide kind of thing, good time to put it down is when you've trimmed them, because there's no bloom on it to be carried into. And then, you fresh mulch, nice watering, and, it only takes them about 6 weeks or so after that, and you've got a nice flush of growth and flower buds starting on them.
So why is it that you don't want the insecticide to make it into the bloom?
Because other, pollinators that come to visit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
We killed
the systemics are great products. There's some people who hate them, but that's because people misuse them, or they don't use them correctly. Best time to use them is obviously when there's no flowers on the plant. And if you read the directions usually on it, it's telling you when to use it. People have a problem where thrips and aphids get on the hibiscus and stuff like that. But when you prune, because hibiscus will bloom and stop and bloom and stop and bloom, or at least slack way off. When they stop, that's when you prune it. Once you prune it, there's no bloom. You can use a systemic insecticide that's going to help to protect that plant from insect and or disease, depending on which ones you're using. It'll flush out its new growth, and it's still going to be protected, but it's in a different portion of the plant that but still helps to benefit against preventing the aphids and the thrips and things like that. Instead of going out there and spraying with an insecticide onto the flowers when there's an insect problem. And that, and just good hygiene in the garden. I mean, right now, everything, we're probably not doing a whole lot in the landscape. But when you do, in late winter, that January time, when you are pruning, making sure that you're cleaning up everything that you've cut off, so that if there were some disease or insect issues, you're not leaving it on the ground there to continue forward, to reproduce itself. So, anytime you're doing, removing plant material, always best to make sure you clean it up well. And talking to a customer the other day with, worried about like the lichen that gets on plants and the ball moss and things like that. And it's natural. I mean, that stuff will grow on a dead fence post. It'll grow on fence material, power lines. You'll find moss growing on. So it's not sucking life out of your plants, but your plants could be declining for another reason if there's a big population on there. Many times it's just the plant is old. Maybe it has been coming to the end of its life cycle, or we've not put the right plant. We've put the wrong plant in the right plant in the wrong place. That's the way. Right plant in the wrong place, to where we have to prune it too much, where we're over pruning and that kind of stuff. So that shortens the life of a plant. People, you don't realize pruning those things, way more often than necessary just shortens a life.
Oh, really?
And over mulching, over fertilizing, all that kind of stuff. It's not beneficial to the plant. So, well-established plants in the landscape, you can, turn off your irrigation systems most of the time to those. Watch that you're not piling mulch up each time say you mulch in spring and fall. Make sure you're pulling that older mulch down, that you're not volcanoing it up over the stems and things like that, because that just holds in moisture areas for insects and disease just to breed in those areas, because it stays wet in those areas. So, and also overuse of herbicides, in those areas, because though it doesn't kill your plants outright, spraying it on the ground, some plants are a little more susceptible to it being able to be, just it being there and being absorbed somewhat. So just be kind to your plants.
A lot of stuff you have to remember.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff to remember.
And it's interesting, at this time of year, you would think to be not a whole lot to have to worry about, but it seems like there's always something.
There's always a little something that's going on out in the landscape, and especially here in Florida, where we have a year-round outdoor climate.
Right,
we
right.
really only have certain times a year that you don't want to be outside. Some people say it's the summertime. The others of us, hide in the wintertime because it's too cold or, it's too dark now. When you
So there was a story this morning that's not about plants specifically, but it's about the pythons in the Everglades.
Oh, yeah.
Did you happen to hear the part of the story that said the pythons have become such a problem that 99% of the mammals in the Everglades are gone?
Oh, I had not heard
I
that.
know. And so
Wow.
that's the food supply of the native.
Right, exactly.
Like the alligators and-
that's why that's what something is invasive, is when
Yeah.
it damages either economically or just physically the native areas, whether or not it's a plant that's gotten loose out of a landscape, or in this case, an animal that has.
But that puts it
And
into
they've-
perspective. Yeah.
They've trapped their 1,000th.
They have trapped 3,600 so far. 1,000 recently.
Okay.
But it says 99% of the native Everglades mammals, including rabbits, bobcats, and foxes, which is the food source for the panthers and the alligators.
Right.
So-
Yeah, it goes exactly. That's why we have to.
I mean, it really does
Watch what. Yeah, puts things into perspective. What damage is done when an exotic species is taking over into a native area.
Yeah. I mean, I said to Robin this morning, I was thinking, some snakes in the Everglades. Why is that a big deal? Now I know.
Right, and those who come up out of the Everglades itself into neighborhoods, there goes the cats and the dogs as well. The pets that can be.
That's right. Yeah.
That can be taken over as well. So.
Yeah, it is. All right, Robin gave you some stuff to give away.
Yeah, she gave me some stuff to give away. We had the Rodeo River Boys Ranch Bluegrass. I'm calling it their Bluegrass Festival. It's the 12th annual Fall Palatka Bluegrass Festival. Is this weekend, November 7, 8, and 9, and at the Rodeo River Boys Ranch in Palatka. And we have 2 tickets for all 3 days. So this is a 3-day pass. It's a $90, so $180 gift pack, all to one person. You can go. You and a friend can go to the to the Fall Palatka Bluegrass Festival for all 3 days, free of charge.
Wow.
You just have to come pick up the
Is
tickets
that the
here
one with Rhonda Vincent on the upper left-hand corner? Is that Rhonda Vincent in there?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's all kinds of.
She's a big deal.
I'm not. I don't know bluegrass
Me
that
either.
much. I mean, I enjoy it occasionally to hear it if I'm somewhere where it's playing. Oh, I'll sit and listen. But there's they got what bands all 3 days, all kinds of stuff. So, but we do have one winner, 2 passes each for all 3 days. So.
Wow. So if you want to go and you want the tickets, we're going to take one call at random. If the phone is still ringing and we're back from the break, that means somebody else is the winner.
That's right.
If we answer the phone, then you are the winner.
There you go.
The number is, right now, 622-9622, 622-WOCA. We'll take the break right now, and we'll take your call during that break.
Yep.
Big prize.
Big prize.
And Rhonda Vincent is a big deal.
Yeah.
So the other ones must be too. I'm thinking.
I'm sure
I don't know.
they are. In order to, there's a lot of bands, and of course it's benefiting the Rodeo for Boys Ranch.
Yeah,
really good program.
And for those Robin, Carol Ann and I are looking at the sheet. It looks like there's a load of people.
Oh, there's all kinds of people, all kinds of names on there.
Yeah, a lot of them.
All kinds of stuff.
All right, we'll be right back. This is the Source WOCA. If you want to win these tickets, 622-9622. This is WOCA. Ocala. Hey, the music wasn't supposed to end yet. So
No.
The music is, yes. Okay, we'll be right back.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. At least 9 family members, Mormons with dual American-Mexican citizenship, are killed in an ambush in northern Mexico. Another family member posting video of a burned car with bullet holes saying,
"This is for the record. Nita and 4 of my grandchildren are burnt and shot up."
Victims, 3 mothers and 6 children. It's reported that other children got away wounded and that some survivors may have been kidnapped. It's unclear if or why this family was the intended target of the attack. Polls are open in the two states where voters are electing governors today.
In Mississippi, Attorney General Jim Hood is trying to become the South's second Democratic governor as he faces Republican Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves. Kentucky's gubernatorial race has Republican Governor Matt Bevin being challenged by Democrat Andy Beshear, the Attorney General whose father was the state's last Democratic governor.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. America's listening to Fox News.
Panera has new breakfast wraps. And yeah, they're an easy on-the-go start to your day. But these are no microwave and go wraps. These are slow-smoked Chipotle chicken, egg, and avocado go-getters. They're maple bacon, eggy smoked Gouda bundles of portable bliss. And they all pair perfectly with our new cold brews. All this can be yours in an instant with rapid pickup. For breakfast that's fast, not fast food. Panera, food as it should be.
Pros like you rely on trusted brands to get the job done right. Lowe's is here to help with more of those brands in stock, and even better, will save you money too. Stop in today and pick up a Metabo HPT 1 3/4-inch 15-degree pneumatic roofing nailer for $40 less, now just $249. And get a DeWalt 20-volt Max 7-tool combo kit for only $399. That's a huge savings of $370. The kit includes a drill, impact driver, angle grinder, recip saw, flashlight, batteries, and more. Do it right for less. Start with Lowe's. Offers valid through 11/13 U.S. only.
Here is your 1-minute news brief. Marion County deputies have arrested a 21-year-old man for the 2019 murder of 79-year-old Richard Peters. Peters was found dead on July 26 after reports of a burglary at his residence. Pinellas County deputies are investigating an early morning explosion at a bank's ATM in Oldsmar. An inmate at a Florida jail has been convicted of distributing drugs that caused other inmates to suffer overdoses. A Ponce Inlet man has entered a no-contest plea in the beating death of his 7-month-old Labrador puppy. Broward Sheriff Gregory Toney announced he is running to keep his job next year. Toney will face former Sheriff Scott Israel, who was ousted from his position because of incompetence in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting incident. More than 3,600 Burmese pythons have been captured in Florida under an effort to control the invasive species, and a dozen bottles of fine French wine arrived at the space station yesterday, not for the astronauts to drink, but for science to study. And that is your news brief from The Source.
Your day on Tuesday will see a mix of clouds and sunshine. A thunderstorm around in the afternoon and evening. Highs in the mid-80s. Your Tuesday night, some clouds linger. Lows not far from 70. And then for Wednesday and Thursday, partly sunny. A shower or thunderstorm around each afternoon. Highs of 82 to 86 on Wednesday and 83 to 88 on Thursday. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Phil Decker.
Visit Southeastern Trailers today. We have new and used enclosed cargo and open utility trailers, along with built-to-order trailers. We service all brands of cargo and utility trailers, installation of hitches, wiring and electric brake controls, and installation of trailer accessories, with locations in Ocala and Ormond Beach to serve all of Central Florida. Call 1-888-622-1816. Again, that's 1-888-622-1816.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. In addition to our pasture mowing and tractor services, including our zero-turn mowers for your fence line finish. Also available, stump grinding, rototilling, and fence row spraying. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Howell Gene, Gene, @yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Are you a medical provider that doesn't like to settle for the same boring scrubs? Scrub Paradise in Ocala has a wide selection of top brand scrubs with embroidery available and the newest medical shoes and accessories. Every medical provider should look as great as the care they provide. Scrub Paradise is just off Easy Street next to Shoe Carnival in Ocala. Stop by today or give them a call at 352-873-4368. That's 352-873-4368.
AccuSleep offers a safe and effective medical option for those who suffer from sleep disorders of all kinds. AccuSleep makes restoring healthy sleep patterns possible. No medication, no surgery, just good sound sleep. Mend your sleep so you can stop counting sheep. Experience restorative sleep at AccuSleep, the acupuncture sleep clinic in Ocala by calling 352-615-5566.
All right, 25 minutes before 10 o'clock. This is one of those times where I think what we said off the air might have been more interesting than what was on the air.
What goes on the air, which
It
we
might
won't
have-
repeat. We
might
won't
have been-
repeat it.
might have been
no,
one
we
of
won't
those
repeat it.
ones.
Congratulations to the winner on the tickets. Enjoy
Yeah,
your
yeah.
weekend at the rodeo at the Bluegrass Festival, and sounds like it's going to be a great weekend for it. I mean, we got some fantastic weather. I mean, you really can't beat this time of year.
It really is a nice time.
It is. I mean, it's. I know some people say, it doesn't feel like holidays or whatever. It's Florida. Yes, it does.
First of all, it's not the holidays yet.
Yeah, it is. Well, but I mean, Thanksgiving's on its way. We've got 1, 2, 3 and a half weeks till Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So yeah, Thanksgiving will be the latest it can be in the month.
Okay.
Just about. I think that's probably about the latest.
I think Robin said Light Up Ocala is before Thanksgiving this year. Or is
Probably
it
only
always-
for this.
is it
Well, I
always
thought it
before?
was the weekend before Thanksgiving.
I don't know. Maybe, I don't know.
At one
always
time, I
forget.
believe it was Thanksgiving, the Saturday of Thanksgiving weekend, but I think they moved it to get away from the holiday a little bit.
So not to jump too far in the
Yeah.
future, but are the Master Gardeners or in the Christmas parade?
I don't know. I haven't been real active over there in the last couple of years just because of my full-time employment.
Have you ever
hard.
been in the Christmas parade?
Not in Ocala's. I've been in a Christmas parade.
I don't remember seeing you waving at us.
No, not in Ocala. I've never been. No, I was at, back in high school when Philadelphia's Thanksgiving Day parade.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yes,
wow.
yeah.
Big
It was
city.
one of the first years that they allowed a high school to have a float, not a marching band. Because marching bands are well, the high school marching bands and
Yeah,
things like
yeah,
that
yeah.
are all accepted. But
Were you in
we
the
didn't
band?
have we didn't have a marching band.
Were you a musician at all?
No,
nothing?
I went to a vocational high school. So. But we had a float. We built a float, kind of thing. So, but no. So that was my parade experience. Except now, when my daughter was little and was in Brownies, we did the Junior Sunshine Christmas parade.
Okay. Is
Yeah,
that the one
and
that goes
Bellevue.
around the square?
Yeah.
Okay.
And the Bellevue parades.
That is cute,
But,
yeah,
Those
yeah.
were always kind of fun. But no, other than that, no. It is, Christmas and holiday plants are all coming in to the big box stores. Actually, amaryllis bulbs have been in for a couple of weeks. I think people haven't noticed it yet, so we still have some. They have a tendency to sell really fast because amaryllis for us, it's normally a spring blooming plant, but to find the bulbs, you have to wait till Christmas or till the holidays in order to find them. Of course, the ones they sell are usually all the very common ones, but if you buy them or buy them for a gift, keep it in the cool to keep it as, lower time that it'll try to sprout out. That's another reason it's kind of tough is they bring them in end of October. You try to buy it and keep it for a gift for Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Even if your party is before Christmas, it's kind of hard. The thing might be trying to pop up out of the box before it's time.
Right.
But you can take the amaryllis bulbs, and I've even seen it done with the paper whites, the narcissus, a decorative bowl, decorative glass beads or stones or something like that, and you just put the bulb or bulbs in there, put water in there to where you're going to, get something for the root system, and just let it do its thing. Put it in a nice bright location, and next thing you know, you'll have your greenery and your bloom sometime around Christmas, or if you wait till later to put it, say 6 weeks or so afterwards.
Let me ask you about the narcissus.
Mm-hmm.
Is it full of itself?
It smells like it, yeah. They're very, very highly fragrant, little overpowering at times.
A little
So-
over proud of their own accomplishments?
A little overpowering on their fragrance. Yes, they are. So it is one of those. But those are in the Norfolk Island pines are in also. And I had the first customer the other day. She came in and had a photo of one in the ground in a neighbor's, and it's like, yeah, you don't want to put them in the ground. I said, enjoy them, but, if it starts to get too big for your area, they're not real cold hardy, and they can grow to be a very large tree. And when they do that, and suddenly we have a bad winter, which we don't get them often, but it might be 5-6 years every so, we'll get it where we'll have hard freeze after hard freeze after hard freeze, or extended hard freezes, and next thing you know, that Norfolk Island pine at 60 feet tall is dead.
Oh, wow.
Then what
Wow.
do you do? Or it has so many burnt limbs that it's no longer attractive. Then what do you do? Then you've got to call somebody to take it down for you. And that's, if, it's moreover, get you small and enjoy it as a patio plant on the lanai, however, and then realize that they are going to get large, and you may just have to get rid of it at some point.
You have a call, but real quickly, Robin
Sure.
texted November 23rd for Light Up Ocala.
Okay. so-
December 14th for the Christmas parade.
Oh, okay.
Good morning. You're on there with Carol Ann.
Hi, Caroline. You again, real quick. See, I believe up north with tulips, they dig the bulbs out this time of year, and then they plant them in spring again. Is that true?
Up north, actually, I would think that tulips, that they would leave them in the ground. See, here, they won't bloom because, you buy them, if you buy tulips in the stores now and you bring them home and you plant them, they will come up, they will grow, they will bloom, they'll do their thing this year. Next year, they might come up, they probably won't bloom because they don't get enough chill. Up north, as far as I know, they just leave them in the ground and then they come up and bloom every year. That they handle that cold.
I got a relative that's going to be coming down to visit around Thanksgiving, and they have a ton of tulips up there, and he wanted to know if I could use any tulip bulbs. But I said, boy, I don't know Florida. I don't think I've ever seen tulips down here. It probably wouldn't be a good idea.
No, I would. I mean, if they wanted to bring you a few that you wanted to put in a container and allow them to bloom and enjoy them this spring, that's fine. But realizing unless you want to take them out of the ground in the fall, clean them off, put them in a fridge that doesn't have any other produce in it, then replant them again in spring, it's just, to me, it's a lot of work for it.
Yeah, if you would plant them in spring, would you get a bloom that year, or what?
If they were chilled this year, yes, you would get bloom. If they were chilled for 2020 spring, you will have a bloom.
Yeah. Well, maybe just for the heck of it, I'll tell them to bring down maybe a half a dozen or so and see what happens.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, because you could even do them in a dish. Because they come in, like that, and it's like, I wouldn't spend a fortune on them. I wouldn't order them unless it was just one of those flowers that made you really think of home or think of someone special that you just want that bloom, and want to take that extra care. But if you're buying them or somebody's going to gift you some, enjoy them while you can.
Yeah, I would imagine the same thing is true for daffodils.
There are some, I believe, that have been bred for this area, but the ones that you're going to find in the big box stores generally are not ones that are going to come back necessarily year after year and bloom. You would almost have to find a garden club where somebody has gotten into buying them, or looking online for ones that are bred for being able to rebloom in like a zone 9 area.
Yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much. Have a good day.
You too.
Thank you, Hugh. Phone line is open if you want to call in. The number is 622-9622. And that's one thing I've always been curious about with the whole, it has to be cold to grow a tulip.
Right.
So could you pull it out of the ground, put it in the refrigerator? And that would,
it's just you need a fridge that you're not going to be storing other produce in, because your other produce, as it ripens, creates ethylene gas, which ripens those bulbs, actually causing them to begin to rot.
Oh, not good.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So usually if you've got the beer fridge out in the garage or something like that you don't use the bottom drawer, or that's the one that you store some seeds in or things like that, that'd be the place to put it. And there's a few other bulbs that, if you really want them and you really want to work hard at it, you can do it. Years ago, I actually, just on the opposite side of that, with us trying to chill things, people who live up north who want a tropical feel have to do just the opposite. And I had read an article where, and now these were dedicated people, because this was a lot of work. They would dig up, they had bananas in Ohio, I believe it was.
No.
And they would actually dig up these banana trees in the fall before frost, before the first frost, get them all packaged, wrap them up in newspapers and this and that, and put them in their basement for the winter.
And they would live.
And the next spring, they would put them back out in the landscape, but they had banana trees.
Are they dormant during the winter?
Yeah. I mean, even for us, yeah. They
so you don't
really
have to keep watering them?
They probably, down in the basement, probably had high enough humidity, was cool enough to set them. They, I think, wrapped them in burlap and things like that would hold moisture or allow them to miss the root systems occasionally. But yeah, it was like, now that's dedication to want this tropical plant in your landscape that you're willing to dig up and haul down into the basement this plant so that you could put it in again next year. And just back to that Norfolk Island pine, I just also did was one of those quick Google things. So here's just something you can do. I just Googled Norfolk Island pine, and keep in mind, care Norfolk Island pine, they are not cold hardy. I just said that. Tropical plant does not tolerate, it says does not tolerate temperatures below 35 degrees. We often get below 35 degrees. Those little quick frosts and things like that we get are not going to kill it. They might brown up some branch tips and things like that usually will come, make it through and things like that. But if you were to put it in the ground, and we had a couple of really nice mild winters, and the one that had gotten 4 feet on your lanai that you planted out 3 years before, and it's now 25 or 30 feet tall, we get a bad freeze, we have a bad winter, and next thing you know, you got a dead tree. So just enjoy them, maybe start smaller so you can have it for more years, and realize you might just end up taking them to the great big recycling bin in the sky. Kind of thing. The compost pile in the sky.
The phone lines are open. The number is 622-9622. And if you do have a banana plant, because I had one, I don't right now, but I did, and the bananas that it would produce would ripen the same way you said that the bulbs for the tulips would rot. Just put them with bananas and, with apples.
We put an apple in there, and the gas given off by the apple
was amazing.
It was amazing that it ripened those bananas up real easy, and yes, they were grown in Ocala. That you can grow bananas in Ocala. You can grow a lot of tropical fruits in Ocala. Some of them take more work than others. The bananas, sometimes it's hit or miss. Whether or not some years you'll get them, some years you won't, realizing that tree itself won't produce again, but others will come up to replace it so long as they don't freeze. You need about 18 months of a maturity on that tree to get fruit from it, but they'll do. Papaya does remarkably well here, and you can find the trees relatively inexpensively, small ones at like $10. And then, you put it in, if you put it in early as you can in spring, after the last frost day, or you just keep moving it up in a pot to where when you put it in, it's got some nice size, you'll get fruit that year. The problem is, again, they don't like cold weather and can be damaged very easily by a freeze. And then so long as you can protect that, it may actually come back from the bottom. And again, you just go that year. They're such a fast-growing tree that they do pretty good, and they will produce.
Going back to something you said earlier, if somebody were to put insecticide into the ground and it went up into the plant and into the flower,
right,
would it kill a hummingbird? Would that insecticide kill the hummingbird?
I couldn't say. I'm not the scientist on that, but normally the systemics, the way they're designed is that it's not supposed to get into the fruiting part, because there are systemics that are used for citrus and things like that, and it's not supposed to get into the flowering part. But then again, your application timing is put where it's not going to be, you're going to wait till all the flowers are off the tree before you put down the insecticide, so that it's not.
I was just wondering if you didn't follow the rules.
If you didn't follow the rules, most people who are putting, or who plant for pollinators and hummingbirds and butterflies and things like that aren't using insecticides at all, or they are using most, the least toxic of them, completely. And those plants usually are not ones that are bothered by big pests anyhow. A lot of those plants are. Now milkweed, yes, they'll get aphids and things like that, which can be a pain. But you can many times either wash them off on a regular basis until you get your ladybugs in, which can help to take care of them, or you're using something like a dish soap and water or a safer soap kind of thing and knock out those. But again, still having to be careful because too much soap, if you're spraying caterpillars, you'll kill them too. Just because it says it's, safe on those plants, if you start putting too much on, it's going to affect them as well.
How do you like our autumn colors?
I do. We've had all kinds of
We've had that for a few years.
Going. Yeah, that's
Plastic,
all right.
plastic flowers.
That's all right.
So what are they? What kind of flowers are they in that?
Plastic.
Besides plastic. What would that be a representation of?
I'm not sure if it's supposed to be. I mean, the mum for Florida doesn't look like that. I mean, it could be.
But it could be from anywhere.
It could be. Yeah. Not sure. Just a. I don't know.
So what? So if you were going to make a
kind of flower,
if you were going to make a floral arrangement and you wanted autumn colors like that one, that's plastic. But what kind of real flowers would you recommend?
You'd be looking at the mums and things like that. There's. If you had it would be forced lilies to be blooming at this time of year. A lot of times those will have those fall colors to them also, just because they have a lot of oranges and things like that. For us, they don't make really a cut flower. Even your marigolds right now still have fall color because they're yellows and oranges. And it is kind of one of those weird things. And I think about this is that as our temperatures change and we're looking for fall colors, mums are about the only thing we have here that'll go through the November, December, those autumn type colors for flowers. Because the spring ones have, they don't handle the cold, and then the stuff we're planting for the cool season are actually all these spring flowers for everywhere else. The petunias and the pansies and things like that are all those great pinks and purples and stuff like that. So they're not really what I consider, winter or fall colors. They're spring colors that we grow in.
So what's going in your garden right now? What do you got going?
Actually, my veggies, it's really quiet over there right now. I got I got one little pepper plant that's kind of struggling. My pineapple plant looks great. My apple tree looks good.
Does your pineapple plant produce a pineapple?
Not yet. But I had moved it from where in a little tiny pot, moved it into a bigger one. It has probably tripled in size. So maybe this spring. I just got to watch it, make sure it doesn't get too cold this winter. But I do got to get some more strawberry plants. My hanger, I had all kinds of strawberry plants, and then all that rain we had.
Yeah.
My planter has a saucer on the bottom of it, and it's a 3-tiered. I should probably take a picture of it. It's a 3-tiered one. So the top runs into the bottom, but then it has a saucer on the bottom, so it ends up staying soggy on the bottom if you're not there to dump it out. It's not good. Yeah. And it's heavy. So to try to hang it, I don't know how they expected that thing to hang up. It is heavy when it's full of dirt. It's got a chain to it, but I don't think I could find there's no shepherd's hook that's going to hold it.
By the way, in the store you work at,
yeah.
Those fake Christmas trees are not cheap.
No, they're not.
They're expensive.
The artificial Christmas trees are very expensive, but they last.
I guess you could look at it that way.
I like a real tree.
Well, how much do you think a real tree will cost this year? On average?
And on average,
one of those roadside guys.
$45 at least.
Really? See, that seems low.
That's I think what ours.
When's the last time you bought a real tree?
2 years ago.
Oh, really?
3 years.
Not too
3 years
long
ago. No, but of course because I work someplace, I get my employee discount. And,
so you get your real tree from Lowe's?
Or actually, the one last time I had a real tree, Black Friday, we had a sale on the smaller Christmas trees. The 4 to 6 or 4 to something like that, 4 to 6 footers were on sale. Plus we had our, plus we could use our discount, and it fit in the back of my car just fine. I just shove that thing right in there. Just put the front seat down.
Those roadside guys with the
roadside
tents.
guys, they're probably more expensive.
I think they're like 80.
Yeah, they're probably $80. Depending on the size of the tree.
What do they do?
We get some. Our big ones, I want to say, are probably $65 to $75.
And where do yours come from?
I had used to think it was North Carolina, but last year we got them, I think, from Canada.
Oh,
and ours,
really? Wow.
Ours came down with snow on them. They were harvested and put right. Yeah, we had snow. We had a little.
That's kind of cool.
We made a couple of snowballs and
that's
stuff.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, we had fun with that.
And how much? Okay, I feel like if I tell you how much I saw the fake one for, you're gonna think.
Probably about $600-700.
Oh, absolutely! I was gonna say it was $600. I couldn't remember, but it was up there.
But I mean, that's a nice tree, very realistic looking.
It is.
Most of the
that's true.
And I mean, they have no ornamentation on them when they're standing on the floor, except that most all of them come pre-lit nowadays. So you don't even have to string
that's a good
lights
part. Yeah.
on them. You just have to set it up.
A lot of money for.
It is, but if you think, over time, if say it was $600, 10 years.
Yeah.
10 years at $60,
$60
$60 a year on a tree for that size tree.
Yeah.
Because that was probably about an 8-footer. So, it depends. I mean, I grew up with an artificial tree, and it was okay. I mean, by the time I left, when I was 16 and I left, the tree was starting to, show its age.
Oh, really?
But I mean, you figure we'd had that tree at least 16 years.
Do you have any ornaments from when you were a kid? Anything left over?
Maybe a couple of them.
I might.
Just a couple.
Some.
I have a lot of my daughter's ones.
Or
some that she didn't have room for a big tree at her house. So I still have her ornaments.
Well, I guess it's too early to be talking about that anyway. So Thanksgiving's coming up.
Thanksgiving's coming up. We'll Thanksgiving plans, but holiday plans. Everybody's thinking of that. All the different. Christmas cactuses. If everybody's got their poinsettias away from the light, one of mine is starting to color up. I think this spring I'm going to put all 3 in the same pot because I think they were 3 different ones, but I forget now. So, we'll see. Because it was like, okay, where did this one come from, kind of thing, and I forgot. But they're all. One of them's starting to color up. Christmas cactus. I haven't seen any buds on mine yet. I may need to move it a little further away from where it's at, a little further around the corner, so it's a little darker where it is. Of course, now with it dark early, it should be a little better.
It doesn't know.
No, it knows day length.
Yeah, but that didn't change.
No, it didn't change. But I mean, when it's dark early, you don't have a tendency to go sit outside for an extended. If you go to sit outside and it's still light, and you turn a light on after you've been out there.
That's what changed.
But if you go,
yeah.
So hopefully they'll start to put on buds pretty soon. Even if it blooms after Christmas, I don't mind. Then I got the extra treat.
Do you have to work today?
I do. Yeah. But that's okay. I got to figure out where to put all those Norfolk Island pines, and try to get between anybody who wants garden mums. Come see me down there in Lady Lake. We'll make a deal.
You got a lot of them, huh?
Oh, I got a lot, and I need to get rid of them.
All right.
Need to get rid of them. They sent us way too many.
How do we find you? How do we find you?
You find me at Lowe's down there in Lady Lake.
But I mean, just walk into the store?
Just walk into the garden center. Ask the cashier, "Where's Carol Ann?" And she'll go, "Sit right over there." Or if I can't be seen, they will call me.
Has it happened? Has a radio listener looked for you?
Yeah, I've had a couple where I've had some people go, "Do you do radio?" Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
So it's all fun.
Always a good show. I love this show. Thank you so much, Carolyn, for doing this.
My pleasure.
And enjoy your day at
work.
With the Norfolk Palms.
Norfolk Island Pines.
Pines, not palms.
Not palms. Pines.
Pines. Norfolk Pines. Right.
Everybody have a great day.
Thank you. We'll take a break. Matt Gibbs coming up next, talking about your automobile. We'll be right back.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. 9 Mexican Americans, women, and children, part of a Mormon community, are killed in an ambush in northern Mexico.
Their bodies were found shot and burned inside their convoy vehicles south of the U.S. border. The violence is blamed on cartels, and the family is noted for often refusing